Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. Watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is wild because it's not Star Wars. It's not even in the Star Wars universe. I joked that in my head canon, Poe Dameron watched this as a HoloNet show, but that's only a joke. It's not real. This is Xcrawl World. It's a Franken game that I have created, built upon the backs of several wonderful designers. So Xcrawl is this game dating back to 3rd edition D&D. It was originally created by, I think, Panda Head Productions. And the idea of Xcrawl, as I've described to these guys, is if the movie Running Man, based on the book, so Running Man, and American Gladiator or UK Gladiator, which I found out used to be a thing, and D&D all got together and somehow produced a baby, it would be Xcrawl. So Xcrawl is this extreme sport of dungeon crawling. It is in an alternate history America where the various fancy races live and reside with a little bit more well thought out history than Blight, as in any at all. So we have elves, we have orcs, we have gnomes, we have all of the fantasy races living and breathing in an alternate history America, except also instead of America being foreign based on the ideas of Greek ideals of government, they said that Roman thing seemed cool. Let's keep emperors around and have Roman shit. And that, of course, led to Roman gods being a pantheistic society who value gladiatorial combat. Hence, Xcrawl. Xcrawl is televised, but technology in the Xcrawl world is mechanical stuff, 1980s level tech, but most electricity and higher tech is magic fueled. That's about all we need to worry about. It's an excuse to lampoon worldwide wrestling, extreme sports, dungeon crawling, Dungeons and Dragons, corporate society, capitalism. All those things are on the table to be openly mocked as folks run through a dungeon and roll dice to hack up stuff and make fame and play to the crowds and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. We'd originally slated for 4 players. One couldn't make it, so we have a smaller Xcrawl team. The unchosen, because I had 4 pre-gens, the unchosen character is Zaster Forrester, still star, the half-elf thief. They are Sir not appearing in this film. And we're going to go around the horn, as it were. I'm going to start from the left-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the right. Mark, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your Xcrawler.
Yeah, I'm Mark. I use he or them pronouns, and my ex-crawler is Hank Ajax Tybalt. He is a human fighty guy with sword and axe, relatively famous on a local scale, and looking to get some crawling done.
He's motivated by the challenge,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. And we've got some cool questions to go through a bit. You were strong. You chose sword and axe, which is awesome. Your specializations, you're good at defending and dealing damage with an axe. So we'll keep that in mind. Very, very cool. I like that a lot. Thank you so much, Mark. Next up is Steven. If you could introduce yourself, tell us about your character.
Yeah, my name's Steven. My pronouns are he, him. And today I'm playing Thomas Hayden, or Mayday, whose pronouns are also he, him. Mayday is the wizard, and kind of scrawny, not as, what's the right word? Not as robust as some of the other players in Xcrawl. But I am curious and I start playing around with stuff and maybe find and get into some trouble that I really shouldn't, in order to take advantage of that during the dungeon crawl. Um, and I'm sponsored by Fricachu Cola. However, primarily I'm sponsored because I have a familiar named Lightning. Lightning is a little white ferret, and like lightning's super popular. Like if lightning wasn't popular, I wouldn't have a job, you know. So there's like lightning stickers, and that's what the cola likes, you know. Frickachu Cola likes having lightning as a mascot, and like lightning's face is over their cola, not mine, and I'm a little resentful of that.
Along with lightning, a bit of the backstory, and again, it's a pre-gen, but Stephen, you have a fertile mind, so I'll ask you this question. It says that you have had to, you're a student at the Guild of Magi, and by participating in the Xcrawl, it's going to allow you to graduate, or at least be released from final exams. You took this as a chance to keep from repeating your senior year again. How many times has Mayday repeated his senior year?
I think this is my third time. I might have to do a fourth. And it's really not my fault, basically. I was looking into stuff and I was concentrating on, you know, trying to figure out things that weren't really a part of the schoolwork instead of studying for those finals.
Nice. That's great. How long has Mayday had lightning as a familiar? Is this a newer thing, or have the two of you guys been around for a bit, but lightning just has this newfound fame?
I think that I've had lightning for the past like year and a half. It was a new thing last year, but this year, you know, I think we've really come into our own on the popularity soared. Yeah.
Nice. And last but not least, Kai.
Hi, I'm Kai. I use they, them. I'm playing Shayla, the dwarf cleric of Apollo. Her family did not want her doing this, so she's definitely doing this. She's currently sponsored by Merciful Minerva Fried Chicken and Waffles. And she really thinks that like Apollo is where it's at, you know, really helps keep her on the straight and narrow. She has a family history of, you know, not conforming to society's rules, and so she's trying to buck that trend while still getting on, like, you know, controlled excitement, I guess. She's got a lot of problems, I think. She'll make her way through it.
Nice. Shayla, sunburned steel wagon.
Feel the burn.
Very excited.
Sunburn. Also, I have a picture of her I'm going to add right now that I modified while we were all talking about our characters.
Amazing. This is the current picture of my poor photoshopping skills. I'm very happy to have an improvement. Where are you sticking the new pic?
I did the drag and drop, but Chrome wouldn't let me, so I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, Chrome doesn't like you. Chrome doesn't like that. It's always going to fight. If you want to drop that in chat, I can probably insert that pic for you.
Yeah, I'll put it in entry real quick.
Cool.
I think you'll like it. Oh my god, I'm laughing at it just looking at
it. The three of you are bereft of Zaster. Zaster sent a message to you guys at the hotel telling you, sorry guys, I'm sick. Good luck out there, and offered no further information. This dungeon crawl takes place in the month of November in the middle of a terrible blizzard. You guys were responsible for your own accommodations. How far, I'll ask Ajax this. I think you guys were at another Xcrawl and have traveled here to New York because you are participating in, if you look at the DBB map tab, Dungeon Battle Brooklyn is what you are participating in today. It's a terrible blizzard in November. It's not far from Thanksgiving. And how far away have you guys traveled? Like, where have you traveled from, the last place that this team was?
I think the Chicagoland area. Midwest-ish.
Nice. Midwest.
Yeah.
Cool. So you were at like some kind of Midwest Xcrawl type
Yeah.
deal. Awesome. Awesome. Mayday. How would you describe the hotel accommodations that you guys find yourselves in?
So let me verify. So I think that Ajax and myself are sharing a room, and it's kind of a crappy room, but Sunburn has a much better room simply because, you know, they want to just they're better than that. And whenever I say that our room isn't great, I mean it's not like there's mold growing on the walls, but you might hear something, and you can hear other people through the walls. So yeah.
Awesome. I love this pick of Sunburn. That shield is pièce de résistance. That's delightful.
Show
Good
it to
work.
everybody.
I will. I just want to insert it into the character sheet first.
Sure. You can put it where Steven's like.
That's exactly where I was going. You and I are on the same page, my friend.
Oh, it's so tiny.
Don't worry. She'll grow. Boom. Awesome. Yeah, we got to share that with the world. That chicken. Oh goodness, that chicken's so good. That is some prime material right there. It's a prime material plane. Love it. Good work.
I was just gonna write the name of the company on the leg of the pants, and then I was like, well, maybe there's already a logo out there, and then I was like, oh, that's going on that shield.
That's awesome.
Apollo shield with a big old chicken waffle.
I'm sure Apollo's not offended at all.
No.
Cool. So Zaster blows you guys off the morning of the big crawl. You guys are participating on your 5th schedule to run the dungeon, which means you're the first team to play on day 2 of the contest. The rules of Xcrawl are that you are not supposed to watch the live telecast because you could get foreknowledge. It's like they don't have any methods to track if you're actually secretly watching the Xcrawl. However, DJs have been known to switch it up between teams, that they'll have certain rooms that they pivot and change around. Do any of you cheat and watch the live broadcast of day 1?
Oh, Ajax wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
My family still won't watch, so I always end up buying the pay-per-view for them. And
Just be mean.
Yeah, like I don't watch it, but like I pay for it. Like, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
They do. They just never do, huh? Okay. Cool.
Not yet. I don't even know if they've hooked up the arcane viewing thing that I got them.
Oh man, are they Luddites? They don't really watch the AVS. Yeah, it's rough.
It even has that voice activated thing now. Yeah. Dear Apollo, grant me television. Then that's all I have to say.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. You can actually have it programmed for any of the Olympian gods, of course.
Right.
And they say
like
that they're
it's like setting your
ways.
Alexa wake word.
Yeah.
They say that there's a way to have it set for Titans, but nobody does that. Titans are all gone. Yeah, I need to stop saying Olympian. I'm thinking Greek. I can't remember what the pantheon for the Roman version is called. Anyway, you guys arrive early in the morning at 8:55 is when you're supposed to be in the green room, ready to go. But I imagine since Zaster isn't blowing you guys, or has blown you guys off, that he wouldn't be forcing you to be late. This is held at the Brooklyn Academy of Letters Athletic complex located in central Brooklyn Heights. The Academy is a very old and exclusive institution that offers non-matriculated degrees in Latin, rhetoric, poetics, theater, and history of theater. The school is utterly exclusive, with a student body entirely composed of the sons and daughters of aristocrats, career military personnel, and the well-to-do. Unless otherwise specified by me, I'm the dungeon judge. And also there's a dungeon judge character who is an NPC in the game. Please don't let it be too confusing. But unless otherwise specified by me, the hallways of your dungeon are made of clear plexiglass with steel supports. Plexiglass is extremely difficult to shatter, but relatively easy to cut. The walls to the rooms of this dungeon are carpeted steel frames. They're tough, but once breached, they twist apart fairly easily. There are no ceilings in the entire dungeon. This lets the audience watch every moment of the dungeon from the stands. And the stands, my friends, are packed. As you enter this athletic complex, they are already being warmed up by various mascots and cheerleaders. There are Xcrawl cheerleaders. They decide they want to represent the populace, so there are half-orc, halfling, gnome, and half-elf and human cheerleaders, and they are pumping up the crowd. There's no ceiling. However, you're not permitted to climb out or launch attacks over the walls. This is all made clear to you in your pre-dungeon paperwork. The dungeon is one level. After you run through it, the crawl staff has 2 hours to reset the room, add traps, bring in new monsters as necessary. Again, as I said, your team's 5th scheduled to run the dungeon, which means you're the first team to play on day 2 of the contest. There are hundreds of fans and supporters outside of the building as you enter. Security guards have to whisk you in past cheering crowds. Mayday, you see that there are several banners for lightning. There is also, if you've ever seen the Fu Lion thing in like Chinese parades, there's a group of people who created a ferret, like a long white ferret, and the ferret undulates and dances around excitedly, wearing clothing that is accurate to your small ferret. And you guys come into the green room. The visiting team locker has been turned into the dungeon green room. The room is dimly lit by a couple of overhead bulbs that cast shadows in the corners. There are 2 long benches bolted to the floor in between rows of lockers. Each one of you have been assigned a locker in which to store your street gear during the match or the game. There's a folding table in one corner of the room with coffee, soft drinks, a little bit of arc rage, and bottles of water. There's a door on the north wall. It obviously must lead to the dungeon. Standing on one side of it is a referee in the traditional black and white stripes. He wears a whistle around his neck, a headset mic, and what appears to be a .45 caliber revolver in a shoulder holster. Next to the door is a magical arcane video screen, or AVS. Once the dungeon begins, you can communicate with your DJ and referees through these remarkable magical devices. Through the wall, you can hear the muffled talking, laughing, and movements of the capacity crowd. You have a few minutes after you've arrived. I'm really curious. What is it that we see each of you doing in those moments before you have to burst out of the green room into the first room of the dungeon with the tumult of the crowd and all the expectations and video screens of the world watching? What do we see Ajax doing for those moments?
Ajax is definitely stretching, warming up, doing the hitting his knees with his palms, running thing, making sure his sword and axe are sharpened, just like focused in the game, slamming arc rage, get stretched, do a couple like quick push-ups or something, just like get a little bit extra jacked looking for the crowd, and just pump.
Sheen of sweat going ahead of time.
Little oil.
Ooh, yeah. Do you have like you squirt it? Yeah, nice. Yep. Nice. I like that. What about sunburn?
Sunburn, first of all, is holding on to her messaging stone, where her ex, who was in the first round, is telling her how difficult it is and she should give up now. And frustrated, she doesn't even respond to him. She just throws it into the locker. And after that, she's just kind of going through like her idols. Like she grew up watching Xcrawl. Like, you know, just thinking like, you know, remember that time that so and so. I'm trying to think of some heroes from the past. So let's see.
I've got a few NPCs over there if you want to grab. Oh, that top row has 4 relatively well-known Xcrawlers.
There we go. Oh, right. Okay. Well, Alina then. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking about like, you know, the moves that she's done in the past and how she inspired her to do something glorious. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, what about you, Mayday? What's your pre-game ritual look like?
So I think Mayday comes in and takes off like his street cloak and everything and puts it up in the lockers and kind of gets ready, and he takes off this little cape from Lightning and hangs that up, and then puts on Lightning. Lightning has like a little bit of armor, it's just like a little
Hops
pad
up.
thing. Yeah.
He hops up waiting for the armor to be placed on him.
Just puts this on. It's ornamental. And then this panicked look comes on Mayday's face, and he's like, "Oh!" And he runs over to where the bathroom is, and you hear this, retching noise and everything. He's really nervous. And I think while that's happening, Lightning's running around and exploring all the nooks and crannies of this locker room. Like, this is a new place, and how does it smell? And I think Mayday comes out, and he's kind of trying to bolster himself, and he's like, "Come on, Mayday, you can do it. That's why you're gonna do okay this time." Yeah.
Lightning always comes over to me because I'll give Lightning a little bit of chicken and waffle.
Nice. Oh man, Lightning definitely munches on the little chicken and waffle. And then there's a point where Lightning's made it up onto the folding table, and there's a cup. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen ferrets, but if there's any cup, that cup's going to get turned the fuck over. So grabs a cup and then just like turns it over, and it splooshes some cola on the side. And there's an attendant who comes over and wipes it up and pets his little head, and he looks at him proudly because Lightning doesn't think they've done anything wrong. The referee comes over to Ajax and Sunburn. Where's the other two? Your 4-person team, right? This is when Mayday's in the bathroom throwing up. I thought I saw your other guy, the Mayday. He looks on a clipboard. Mayday, right? Where's
Yeah, Mayday's just freshening up.
Okay.
Kind of a prima donna.
Yeah. Where's Forrester? Where's he at?
Elf bailed on us.
Shit.
Elf.
Yeah. Well,
so can we hype a handicapped crew, or do we need to go get like a jobber?
It's really up to you guys. We don't have any extra on staffs, but if you know somebody you can give a call to, got 15 minutes though.
15 minutes.
You really should have notified the staff ahead of time. We could have tried to make arrangements a little more timely fashion. Oh, by the way, each of you get 1 healing potion at the beginning of the crawl. If it's unused, you do need to return it to the staff at the end, at the completion of your run.
What flavor is it this time?
Oh, it's squirrely grape. Not bad. Well, I mean, it's better than no flavor.
There was one crawl where like I had like 5 of them in a row. It's a thing. It's fine. It's fine.
So I think I come out, of the restroom, and I'm kind of wiping my mouth and everything. And I've overheard this whole, hey, we need a 4th. And I kind of turn to Ajax, and I'm like, maybe we could get someone from the crowd outside.
Well, you don't trust Lightning?
Lightning's our 5th.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I think I think the four of us got it. I get like a little bit too hard punch in the shoulder, but like friendly. Like I just don't understand that he's not
Yeah,
able to
I
take
think
it.
when you do that, it kind of rocks me a little bit. I kind of stand up, stretch up to whisper in your ear, for cannon fodder.
I mean, if you want to play it that way,
Well, it's your call. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The referee like taps his ear and said, "You guys got 5. You going with 3? You gonna try to grab an extra? What's going on?"
Handicap match. We got it.
Well, hey, better fame for you. All right, they're ready. They're ready. No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Guys are on. And the AVS in the green room comes to life. You see Xcrawl Commissioner Bradley Leibrock on screen. He's addressing the rowdy crowd. And now he's got a microphone. He looks a little Vince McMahon-ish. He's a nice McMahon kind of style. He's got the double-breasted suit, hair slicked back, Pat Riley style. I can make these references because you guys are all old like me. And Bradley Leibrock says, "And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the man of the hour, the winner of our dungeon design contest, the meanest little DJ of them all, Seymour Blood." The crowd cheers, and you see that the camera pans over to a tall podium. Standing behind a lectern, obviously on some sort of raised platform. Behind it is a teenager with extremely close-cropped hair, dressed in a blue blazer, white shirt, and a black tie that looks brand new. Obviously, first time that it's ever been worn. This kid smiles. It's obvious that he's drinking in the cheers of the crowd while also seeing one of his hands shake just a little bit. This is day 2 of his exposure as a DJ. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Welcome to day 2 of the Battle for Brooklyn. And then crowd roars. All right, we've got many teams to get to, so I'm going to keep my remarks brief, ladies and ladies and gentlemen. He looks down at his nose. Let me introduce our first team of the day, Zasters Disasters. And then you guys know, you see that now you're on the display, right? Which is like a weird thing of like you're standing there, you're looking at yourselves, and he Seymour Blood says, the fighter of the crew is sponsored by Arc Rage, one of my favorite drinks. It's great choice, Arc Rage, because boy, he's buff. This is Ajax Tybalt. Hey, Ajax. Welcome to Dungeon Battle Brooklyn.
and I just like jumping in into the camera, waving to people. Just happy to be here.
Cool. And then this is break for like actual DJ Rich to say, don't forget, this is the only time to hype it up is before a crawl. So this is your opening to potentially hype it up, or you can just go for the cheap heat, insult or praise the audience or their hometown, and that allows you to sway the crowd as well. So pause. You're just happy to be here. Anything else? Moves on.
Let's see. So hype it up does what are we doing here? Below.
Yeah, before the crawl, you take the mic, you speak your mind. It's basically cutting a promo. Sorry, I should have said cut a promo.
Perfect. I'll just say like these two are the best partners anyone could ever have. I'm full confidence that with them behind me, we're gonna just roll through this thing in no time.
Nice. It looks like you want to hype it up. So
why don't
you can roll with int, whiz, or charisma based on your player choice based on the tone of how you set that up. So which stat do you think?
Charisma.
All right. Charisma. Your charisma, Ajax, is a 0. Lovely 0. All right. 2d6 plus 0.
Let's get our dice roller up.
Oh, you want me to link it in chat?
I got it here.
Okay,
Cool. So it's just 2 dice straight up?
2 dice straight up.
All right.
Good luck. You'll need it. I'm going to do it 100 times. Oh!
Yeah, good time.
Oh my. Oh goodness. So on a miss, you clear your Mojack tract. Cool. So you're 0 mojo. If you carried something from a previous game, that is now clear. So I think you hear some boos and it gets a little quiet for a little bit. Maybe you imagine hearing crickets, and see more blood. Just yeah, great. Okay, let's move it on. We have a cleric. Do you prefer cleric or priestess of Apollo?
I'm sure I've been asked this before.
Yeah, I'm sure she has, and you have his pat answer. So
Right,
this
right,
pause
right.
is Kai pausing, but not sunburn. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. I'm here to deliver the power of Apollo. Use whatever word you like. See more blood.
Nice. Love it. He's like, oh, I love that fervor. I hope Apollo shines upon you. But isn't a sunburn like a bad thing?
It's the burn of faith that brings you closer to glory. The glory I'm going to bring to you today in this dungeon. I'm going to be bringing blood, breasts, and beasts. And the breasts are fried chicken breasts from Mad Minerva's fried chicken breasts and waffles.
God, that's so good. It's so good. It sounds like you might be trying to hype it up.
Or be a dork.
Or be a dork. I mean, both can be true. Both can be true. People get hyped up for dorks. I've heard it. So let's see. Do you want to use your int, whiz, or charisma for that particular attempt? It sounds like your wisdom is probably the best way to go, but your charisma's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know how that was being wise. So I'll go with,
okay.
I'll go
Charisma it is. +1. Good luck.
All right.
What? Oh, Apollo is not pleased. Your mojo remains at a paltry 0, and the crowd. I think the crowd cheers, but it's like it's more like a polite applause. Perhaps it's more respect for Apollo than your. And I think there's a point when the AVS screen. Here's what really kills it, Sunburn. The AVS screen like focuses in on the crowd, and you see your ex there sitting with the rest of their team. And there's this awkward moment, and then See More Blood says, see here we have the Black Hammers who competed yesterday in the first day of the dungeon and completed the dungeon. Congratulations to the Black Hammers. Yeah, but hey, let's get back to disasters. We have our most famous member of the crew, Lightning. There's a big crowd, cheers like crazy for Lightning. The AVS like goes across the crowd. We see people wearing like ferret t-shirts. This guy who's wearing like a ferret helmet, like it looks odd. Like he's got a ferret on top of a helmet, so the ferret is like looking over him for some reason. And then it snaps back to you. And Mayday! Hey, Mayday, our wizard, graduate of the School of Magi, right?
Soon to be graduate of the School of Magi, and I'm here for the maybe one day you'll be able to go to a nice university like this one, and you'll have to be really smart to get into the Brooklyn Academy of Letters, and it's something you should really try to achieve. Then
people applauding a little bit, yeah.
Then and
going
he's
for a
nervous.
You cheap
he's
heat?
not real good at it, but I think what he does is he takes the you called it an AVS screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has like a little camera that he attaches to Lightning, and Lightning like runs around and like plays up to the camera, but like in a little picture in the picture thing, there's like a little lightning view. Like as it runs around, there's like this little view of everything as he's running around. And maybe part of the camera, it's focused on lightning, but part of the camera sees Mayday kind of roll his eyes a little bit, like, oh, okay. And I tried to say something, but boy, the ferret's just running off and stealing the show. Yeah. And
That's
I'll
awesome.
roll hype it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to say I'm doing that with intelligence.
Yeah, you're smart enough to
Because-
let the ferret lead the way. That
That's
sounds good.
right.
See how it goes. I like that you guys. Oh, by the way, mark your XP. You have failed rolls, so do mark XP. Holy cats and kittens! That is another fail. Yeah, I think what happens is that lightning gets so excited that lightning darts in a space in the door and like goes into the dungeon ahead of time. And Seymour butts the oh, he's not supposed to go in there yet. Just a minute. And then we like cut, and there's the crowd. Are getting excited, and they're cheering a little bit. He's obviously run off to do something. And then the door opens to the green room, and there's one of the a person wearing a non-com badge has scruffed lightning, and like just scruff just does this thing, kind of staring off into nothingness. Please keep your familiar.
And I think I
close.
pick Lightning back up, and I'm like, yeah, sure thing. Lightning has his own mind, so yeah, we'll get that.
Okay, I'm gonna give the stage back to Mr. Leibrock. And the camera swings back to the president of Xcrawl, Commissioner, and he says, "Thank you, Seymour. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for our first-time dungeon judge?" And the crowd cheers enthusiastically, trying to get back into the spirit of things. He looks at the AVS screen. Now it is time to begin. Players, from this moment forward, your lives are forfeit in the service of the Empire. We thank Emperor Ronald I, the Uniter, for giving us this opportunity for these young heroes to demonstrate the courage and valor of the American Empire. Watch over us, O Apollo, and reward the brave and strong with your blessing. And you who would be heroes, heed me now. Your life begins today. Look at the end at time, because this is Xcrawl, and if you die, and then it cuts to the crowd, the entire crowd roars in unison, "You die!" Finishing the famous catchphrase of Xcrawl. The AVS goes blank. The referee points to the door. The crawl has begun. So, who is the first through the door into the room one? That sounds great. If you guys will direct your attention to our DBB map, you enter the first room. So the door opens. You hear the roar of the crowd. It's even louder now that it's not contained by the door. You're able to see all the plexiglass walls, no ceiling. You see all these crowds. There's a bunch of like balloons, these like ferret balloons that people have. Someone's got a t-shirt cannon. They're like shooting t-shirts around. The cheerleaders, you could totally see them on either sides there. But here in this room, it is the largest room you've seen in a dungeon in quite a while. It's arranged into various obstacles. There is a thick orange arrow painted on the hardwood floor, marking your path. There are swing ropes, attack barriers, and the like. In the very center of the room is a 30-foot tall tower made of wood and stainless steel struts. You see that hiding behind a low wall at the top of the tower are two small men in armor. So you may end up facing them in combat. You're not sure. They seem to be manning some kind of cannon with a wide barrel, but they're not pointing it at you at this point. You also see there's a 3-sided revolving AVS scoreboard hovering in the air some 30 feet over the tower. There are faces, and you see your faces and your names listed, as well as clips of what must be footage from earlier heats. Sunburn, what do you see your ex-boyfriend doing in this particular heat that is a highlight? Is it a failure, a stumble, or something just splendid that he pulls off?
He's got one arm on a rope, and he's picked up one of his teammates, and they're like, flowing over to the next landing spot, right? Like if he
Nice.
hadn't grabbed the guy, like the guy would have been in fake lava or something like that.
Nice, fake lava. There's several referees in this room. One of them near you blows a short blast on his whistle to get your attention. It's the guy who brought lightning back to you. All right. You have to hit all 4 buttons on the walls. He points them out, and I'll show them to you in just a moment. You have to hit all 4 buttons, then assault the tower to win this room. Follow the arrows. Don't skip any obstacles, and follow the instructions of your referee. On my mark, get ready, set, go. So I assume, Ajax, you are leading the way?
Yeah. We have to hit the buttons and then assault the tower, or can we do
Correct.
them in any
You have
order?
to hit buttons.
Okay.
So the buttons are here at C, near
Got
E,
it.
near F, and then there's another one here by this particular obstacle. Cool. So your first bit, this right here, is swinging across some mud. Please defy danger with Dex. Now, we're not going to make each individual person roll, and we're just going to kind of rotate it through each of the obstacles, get you used to some rolling, see how you perform on the obstacle course. That's cool with everybody. This is defying danger with dexterity, which
Right.
you are not. You're not too shabby. 2d6 plus 1.
6 plus 1. Yeah, and Ajax just dives for it immediately. It's like his face lights up. It's like, yes, here we go. And that's a 12.
Oh, yeah. So you look incredibly heroic as you move across, and you're able to swing the rope back just perfectly for Mayday and Sunburn to make their way across. So not a die roll, but Mayday, do you make it across this rope without any problem, or is there a little bit of stumble and maybe a foot in the mud at the very edge?
Oh, I think there's a foot in the mud at the very edge, but all eyes, as I swing across are on Lightning, and Lightning makes this gorgeous leap, like onto this, onto the edge, and nobody notices that I stepped in the mud, except there's one footprint as I come through. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be like a little muddy footprint for a little bit on the wooden floor. Cool. And then what does it look like when Sunburn, who has to swing a little farther than folks than the others since she's so short? What does her swing across the mud pit look like?
All I can see in my head is that she's got like the shield strapped to her back, so as the
Nice.
camera's watching her, like, on the rope, it's basically just watching her advertisement the entire time.
Nice. So now Sunburn, let's stay with you. These little circle here things, these are tires.
Mojo points. Isn't there something at 12?
Yes, you guys get a mojo point.
Oh.
Thank you so much for that. Oh,
Nice.
that's wonderful. So you guys gain a mojo. You can mark that right here. I'll let you do that, Mark, since you are the one who mark that.
Mojo is bam. There we go.
Cool. Good stuff. All right, these are tires. So you're running through the tires. Give me a defy danger with Dex, and you'll be able to hit the first button once you've completed that. So we'll stay with Sunburn and have you roll defy danger plus Dex, please.
Sunburn. The one with the shortest legs. All right.
Yep.
Okay, so my Dex is.
I just want to show this pic from the actual module that tickles me. This is the person running.
Yep. Yep.
So they're about that dwarf wearing a. Oh, it's great. Yes, this game is run for my own amusement. I appreciate you guys.
Another 6.
Oh goodness, you trip and fall. Now, there are rules for helping out. You could, if you guys take a look at the basic moves, you could do an assist play. It does say about to roll, but I'm okay if you wanted to do to kind of go in and help out by hoisting Sunburn up if Ajax or Mayday are interested in that. If not, you can just let Sunburn get that XP and you guys can move on. You will be taking a D4 of damage as you twist your ankle if you do fail here or something.
So yeah, I think Mayday is standing behind, and I think Lightning runs ahead and has no problems, but
just hops from tire to tire on the
Yeah.
top of the tire.
But I think Sunburn, I see that you're struggling with one of the one of the last tires, and I think I'm going to step up and I think I'm going to tell you, watch out for that tire. You need to make sure that your foot is completely out of the last one, or you won't be able to get into it. Yeah. And how
Nice.
does assist work?
So assist. Oh yeah, you do. So on assist play, when you help somebody, you say how you do it, and you roll plus stat per defy danger. So it sounds like you're giving her good advice. So you could roll it with intelligence if that's what you were angling for.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. That's a 12.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
So go ahead and mark your mojo up to 2. Sunburn
6s and 12s. That's it. That's all
That's
we
it.
get.
You on
All or
either
nothing.
side. So the good news is that with a 10 plus, the teammate, that's Sunburn, you gain advantage. So your previous roll was for Shayla was a 5 and a 2. Roll a single D6, and then you can replace that 2 with, unless you roll a 1, then you still fail.
Yeah.
Or if you roll a 2, you still fail.
3.
Oh,
Hey,
perfect.
there we
You
go.
edge pass. Cool. So I think there's a point where your toe gets tipped on the lip, underside lip of a tire, but listening to Mayday, you're able to struggle through, and you guys are able to hit the first button. Whang! And then there's a horn that sounds. People cheer, and now you are to the next obstacle. Run through padded attack dummies. So the dummies are up on tripods and have several branches, each covered in a thick layer of padding. Each of you will be running through the obstacle. We'll let Mayday make the roll here. You're going to be defying danger with either strength or constitution. You get to tell me what it looks like as you try to run through this little gauntlet, as we jokingly call it.
I think I'm going to use strength, and this is me running up, and I think I grab one of the dummies to try and slow it so it's not hitting me as much. Or I go through that.
Cool. All right. So then let's have you go ahead and roll.
Okay. So I'm rolling flat. I have
Okay.
a 0 in strength. I got an 11.
You guys are gangbusters now. This is awesome. You are hot to trot. You take no damage. You just move your shoulders at the perfect time, and you are able to make it to the next step. You guys have a long straightaway here before you get to the next button. Who hits the second button?
I reach up to hit the second button and then pause for a second, and lightning comes up and like, boop, and the crowd goes wild, just crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Your very next obstacle is there's a police car siren that goes off, flashing blue lights here. There's an arcane target range. A referee stands by this obstacle here and gives you instructions. There's a signboard here with a single-use spell scroll taped to it. 40 feet away is a huge cutout target, a large humanoid shape with their arm raised and brandishing some kind of weapon. It looks like a sword bat thing with spikes on it. A sign by the target says, "Zap the target with the spell to defeat the giant." So you will need a spellcaster or a thief to use the spell scroll here.
I can do that. Yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead for this particular activity, Thomas, and we're going to have you cast a spell.
Okay.
So it's not prepared, but you do need to roll plus int.
Cast the spell, roll plus int, and something happens. Okay. So I got a 7.
Nice. All right. On a 7 with cast a spell, you cast it, but pick one. Reality twists around you. You take a -1 penalty to casting your next spell. You lose the spell after it's cast. I'm going to say that's not an option because it's off of a scroll. Draw unwanted attention or put yourself in a spot. The DJ will say how.
Let's say draw unwanted attention. Yeah.
Nice. That's
I know.
perfect.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is it?
One of your professors is like, "That's not what I taught in class."
Nice. AVS screen cuts over, and it's this professorial. It's a professorial, like he's got the elbow patches on his tweed jacket, but he also has a wizard hat on, and it says underneath that it's like Professor Samison, and he says that's not what I taught Richard in class. That's Thomas Hayden. It's not what I taught him in class. He really saw. Come on, that was weak sauce.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
I think he actually holds up a number like you would see a judge do, and it's like a 4.
It's a 7 out of 12.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
Cool. You guys make it here to the next point. There is the third button. That's right. The fourth button's at the top. Right. Okay, cool. So this here, G, your obstacle, is a mechanical ogre, a 10-foot tall mechanical puppet with oversized fists and gauntlets. The ogre is, if you hit the target with the Ray of Enfeeblement, the last obstacle, the ogre is deactivated. You did, which means that it is not ready to fight. The mechanical action is that the thing is moving, but you can tell that it's moving very slowly and it is not active. You can head over and hit button C. So who hits the third button?
Sunburn, you want to go for it?
Yeah. I make a big act out of like tumbling under the ogre in such a way that like if they were to speed up the tape, it would actually look like like a dangerous thing. And then I take my shield and I chuck it at the button like a Wonder Woman kind of thing.
Nice. Bang, the button goes off, the crowd goes wild. You continue forward. These V's are actually supposed to be arrows. You continue forward to this point, and as you get to this point, this tower becomes active, and the two figures in armor start firing a tennis ball cannon at you guys.
I'm surprised they haven't been firing the entire time, to be honest.
Yeah. They haven't. They could have, and that was an opportunity, but they are not. So the goblins have cover, but you see that the button is up there at the top of the tower. The fourth button will finish this room, and I'm curious what you guys do. These tennis balls hurt, but if you get hit, they're kind of thing where they could cause you to lose balance or possibly lose scatterings of D2 hit points. So what is it that you wish to do, Ajax? Is these guys they're firing tennis balls at you.
The tower was wood, you said, or wood and steel?
Wood and steel.
I think Ajax's first instinct is to just shoulder slam the tower. It looks very big, but that's he's like, I'm gonna see if I can shake him down a little bit and then climb up.
Nice. Let's have you defy danger with strength.
Yeah, I can do that. Strength of 2.
On, we're due for another 12 here.
That's a 9.
Nice. You are going to take 1d2. You can actually type up 1d2 up here if you wanted.
Yeah.
You take 1d2 of hit points of damage as you start to shake these guys loose. They are going to try to take cover for a little bit.
Armor. I have heavy armor.
Oh, okay.
Does
So
that
you're good. Actually,
take
that
two?
would have done with heavy damage. You would. I don't think you would have taken any because you have so much armor. You can just
Yeah.
ignore these nugs.
Just wade through them.
Cool. Climbing up the tower then.
Yeah, like I think he like is like I'm gonna charge the tower and slams into it, and like just like it's much stronger than he thought it was gonna be. And okay, whatever. Just hand over hand, just
Well,
starts
let me add to
crawling
that
up.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you slam into the tower, and I'm like, teamwork, Ajax, teamwork. And so I take my shield and I'm blocking the tennis balls, and then like you run and I put my shield and you jump off the shield to get higher up
Yeah,
into the tower.
I love it.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that is
Yeah, so I
mojo.
like run
While
back
Mayday
towards you and
casts
then pop
invisibility
it.
on you.
Yeah.
Is Mayday gonna waste a spell on invisibility? Because that sounds fun, but I want to make sure you're in on that.
I'm completely fine with that. And I have a question for you though. Do you want to assist or whatever assist play
Oh,
Ooh.
with that shield and see if that could be better?
sure.
So
Yeah.
let me put my cast a spell, cast invisibility on the table, and then you can do the assist. And then I think whenever you shouted about teamwork, I'm going to do this first. And I got a 6 on my cast a spell. So I tried, and what happens on a 6-?
Yeah, on a 6- we'll cast a spell. Let's see. I think
I think
just
that's your
get a
choice.
move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah. I get it. GM gets a move, or the DJ. Sorry,
The
DJ.
DJ.
Gets a move. Got it. I can't deny getting to do a cool move. I think I'm gonna be mean. What spell were you gonna cast?
Invisibility.
Wait, doesn't Mojo let you roll it with an advantage or something? Can you roll another die? Or something?
Yes, you could spin the mojo and give yourself another die if you want. Otherwise,
think so.
I will tell you the move is that you lose your invisibility. It
Yeah, I think that's
slips
fine.
out of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that basically, and I don't think that's hard at all. You know, that's fine. I try, and it doesn't work, and you can see that I'm kind of downtrodden. I think we get boos from the crowd.
There's just a cut to the professor going.
He holds up a 2.
Not even saying anything, just
Yeah. Maybe he holds up a 2, or someone holds up a 2 like in front of him, and he gets angry and like
third time through.
It's true, actually. Thomas has failed his finals 3 years in a row. We thought we would give an extra opportunity here, but it seems like he's going to fail this too. Ooh, boo. So, yeah, you are making your way up, Ajax. With that 9, you take a little bit of damage, or should take damage, but you've got enough armor to where it's no big deal. When you reach the top, the 2 goblins were firing the cannon. They like step back. Whoa. We're good. One of them points over at the button. It's like, hey, you got a big guy.
I think grab one of the goblins' head and smash it into the button.
Nice. The crowd loves that because goblin abuse is it trends. It trends.
Yeah.
It tests well. This is a barbaric species. Amazing. The 4th goes off, the lights come up brighter, and people are just freaking out. They start chanting "Zasters, disaster, Zasters, disaster," and there's a pause. You've won this room, and now Commissioner Liebrock actually comes out to present you guys with the treasure for the first room, and he like shakes each of your hands, and then you receive the following. He like points over, and a couple of the referees push on like a little cart. There's a big golden, but it's totally like spray paint gold chest. And when you open it up, you see that the treasure for this room is a well-made longsword in a Velcro sports scabbard, a set of 7 prayer beads that can remove 1 point of disapproval each, with 5 minutes of prayer destroying the bead. I'll drop this in chat. A scroll of magic missile that can be read 7 times before bursting into bright green flames. and a set of masterwork lockpicks that grant advantage to tricks of the trade, which will do you no good whatsoever. But there you go. Oh.
You said they removed disappointment.
Yes, if your god gets disappointed in you.
Oh, I was just going to throw them at my family. Like, stop being disappointed in me.
Removes disappoint, like disfavor from your god.
Okay.
Sorry, that was super unclear. Awesome. So yeah, the goblins, they were not in on that fight, and you guys are successful. Congratulations. And then
I'm actually tending to the goblin whose face got smashed. Like off camera.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. He looks up.
Well, we're the short races, right? Like, I know
says, oh,
goblin lives are human lives. I get it.
I think I broke my nose. I really like that ferret, though. I'm glad we didn't shoot at him.
He's a good guy.
You like put a little splint on his nose and an Apollo band-aid or something, Apollo branded band-aid, and he's pretty happy about that. Cool. Commissioner Liebrock motions to someone, and then we go back to our shared screen, and then a tunnel opens up. So there is a tunnel that opens up here right by the no-go door, and the referee blows a whistle and directs you guys to crawl under the tunnel. That's where the next room. Oh, by the way, you have finished a level. Someone needs to increase your mojo by 1. Your mojo is now 3.
Bump it up.
Cool.
That longsword, does it give any other advantage, or is it just nice?
It's just nice. You can sell it for a lot of cash.
I'll take it.
It's just nice. Looks really nice.
I take the scroll, but I strap the lockpicks onto Lightning. And I think we hear these murmurs in the crowd. We're like, is Lightning the 4th? Is Lightning like really a rogue now?
Oh yes, that's perfect. I love that. This tunnel is 3 feet in diameter and fully carpeted. It goes in the dark as far as you can see. This room, unlike the regular rooms, does not have transparent walls. So you have to make your way through a cramped tunnel, which leads underneath a new area. It goes 70 feet until you finally hit a patch of light above you. As you approach a square of light in the otherwise darkened tunnel, a light shines through a metal grate in the tunnel's ceiling. There's a white envelope dangling from the center of the grate by a strip of masking tape. The envelope is completely mundane and harmless as far as you can tell. It definitely doesn't smell like magic, Mayday. What do you do?
I think I walk up and I lean over and I'm like, Ajax, I think it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I step back.
You like scoot back? All right.
Yeah, he just like flexes as much as possible in the cramped space, like spits on his hand, like gets ready to bend those bars.
Cool. Do you grab the letter, or do you just go for the grate?
I'm just going for the grate. Yeah.
I just ignore it. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All I see is bars to be bent.
Well, we have to see how that goes. So give me is there? Yeah, there is a bent bar.
Yeah, I have a specific move for that.
Yeah, let's do it. So
when I use brute strength, overcoming and roll strength. Yeah, all right.
Cool.
Those bars. That's a 9.
Nice. Okay, so what happens on a 7 to 9? Oh yeah.
But choose choose 1.
Choose 2.
Choose 1. Choose 2.
Oh yeah, 7 to 9.
Because they're bad things. I think it. I think it makes a lot of noise, and I think I cause unwanted damage.
Awesome. Hi and Steven, I want to check in with you guys. Is it okay if that unwanted damage affects you both as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Mayday actually stepped up close as he sees Ajax like pulling on the bars. Mayday looks kind of exasperated and walks up and kind of plucks the envelope, and that's when the damage. He's right there. Yeah.
Nice. So just a moment before all the damage happens with the grunting, the groaning, the sound of metal, Mayday, you pluck the envelope, you open it up, and it says, there are 5 orcs in the room above you. They believe you're going to enter from a door in the south wall, so you have the element of surprise. There are 3 prisoners here. Free them all to win the treasure. And that is when the ceiling of the entire tunnel falls down around all of you guys as something Ajax in this frame, it like just took out a support beam, and each of you get to take a D4 of damage. So I'm going to let each of you roll your own damage individually, because who knows, maybe there's more stuff. Maybe there's some electricity in here, some juice that will affect you. Who wants to go first, rolling their D4 of damage? And by the way, yeah. No, go ahead. We'll have Mayday roll it as you're finishing up the letter.
So I'm going to roll first, and I'm also going to take one of my undefined gear as an enchanted robe, which gives me an armor. Let's see what that looks like. So 2 points, and armor makes that 1 point.
Yes.
Okay.
And heavy armor would have made that 0, correct? I'm just double checking the stats on the heavy armor. Yeah, so light armor takes off 1 damage and heavy armor takes off 2. It doesn't say so, but that's what we're going to say it means, and I'll define that a little better.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. HX, you are eager to get damage, so let's see what you're.
Yeah, let's see what we get. Damage 4, which means I take 2. Yeah,
Dang, man.
I probably like not just bent the bars, but just like pulled the entire grate apart, including the top, which that's like the majority of collapse happened right on top of me.
Oh, what about you, Sunburn? Let's see how much you take from the collapsed tunnel. Ooh, 2. And do you have any armor?
I have my shield.
Cool. Do you feel like you would have your shield up when things started to bend? Okay, sounds good.
I think her reaction all the time is like point my shield towards something. So that's how you make the money.
Yeah, so let's have that. We'll go ahead and define that there. So you got your armor remind you, and then we'll do the same thing here.
7 ton.
All right, good stuff. So let's go back to our DBB map, and sorry, need to do this. Boom. So, from your position in the floor, you can see that this room is large and dimly lit. The walls are clear plexiglass, and you can see the crowd in the stands watching your every move. There are 5 armored humanoids in this room who are very aware that you are coming here. And they're all standing around, brandishing their weapons, waiting. Evidently, these orcs are just a little bit sporting, or maybe they're afraid that there's, getting down in the tunnels with you is a bad idea, because they are not going down into the tunnels or attacking. They just have swords, so they're not going to throw their sword at you. They are all focused on you. There is a door on the south wall marked no-go on this side. And then around the room are 4 barred cages, A, B, C, and D. 3 of the cages have attractive young cheerleaders holding pom-poms and looking not terribly happy about being imprisoned. But once you guys appear, they start cheering anyway. Please save us. Please save us. And then the 4th room is just empty, and that is room D.
So have you seen the movie Basketball? Trey Parker, Matt Stone.
Long time ago. If you can block a wrench, you can. I can't remember.
And that's dodgeball. No, that's
baseball and dodgeball. Different.
Basketball. Basketball. Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah, it's basically a horse, but anyway, each team always had 3 cheerleaders. And so like this could be the disaster specific cheerleaders. Like,
yeah,
right now they can come out. If we can save them, they can come out and like do special
I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass, but
I like that. If you
it.
save all 3 of the cheerleaders, I think you will sway they will help to sway the crowd.
save the cheerleaders, save the world.
I like that. That's cool. That's a neat mechanical. Writing that down because that is a cool idea. You're in combat now, friends. What is it you wish to do? Who wants to go first?
I think Ajax is like kind of like bursts out of the rubble and like with a X and sword in hand, and I think he's gonna grandstand. He's just like climb out and like point at each
perfect
orc
time.
with the X and like raise his sword up and like, come on, cheer, let's go.
Nice. Describe how you're attempting to do it, and then you get to roll plus a stat. Your crowd attitude is neutral at this point.
Yeah. I want to say strength from like the breaking out.
Yeah, I'm
doing
into
all
it.
that. Like he's
You have
like
convinced me.
he's more like flexing than being charming right now.
It's true. He's not so good with being charming.
Yeah, thinks he is.
He's not bad. He's just not lucky.
In his brain, he is.
In his brain.
All right, grandstanding with +2. That is a 10.
Hell yeah, crowd. That is awesome. As
They
we
love
look
that
at our 10 plus, you sway the crowd and you get to carry one. Actually,
Nice.
yeah, I think I need to change that to roll with advantage because carrying one forward is not as good. So,
Carry advantage. Yeah.
there. I appreciate
And
the help.
is it
Thank you.
is that a tick on the card clock or crowd
Yes,
clock?
you mark a tick on the crowd clock.
Awesome. Cool.
Good work. Excellent. So, yeah, what is it that Mayday is doing as Ajax is grandstanding?
So I think that I'm trying to get out of the way. And where on the map are the goblins?
Oh, they're an orc, and
They're orcs.
they've surrounded you guys. So here, I'll just put X's in there for
Oh
them.
yeah, so they're all around these. Okay.
Yeah, they were all watching this wall, and then they heard Ajax grunting and groaning and realized, oh, like over here, like it's here. And then they just waited for you guys. And now they've got their swords and shields, and they're not going to jump down into the tunnel, but they're going to hack on you guys as soon as you jump up.
Yeah, so I think I poke my head up while Ajax is grandstanding and looking all powerful, and I'm gonna cast magic missile from the tunnel and duck back down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Clever move. You think their reluctance to get down in the tunnel against them. Go ahead and cast a spell then. Are you using the scroll, or are you using your own magic missile?
There's no difference when I do the move, right?
The only difference is that you're definitely losing that spell. Like there are only a certain number of uses for scroll, but if you roll well in casting a spell out of your spell book, you could keep it. Sorry, I keep spinning it around, but it's down here. Cast a spell. If you roll a 10 plus, then you cast it and you keep the spell. Otherwise, if you cast a spell out of your spell book, you could potentially lose it. But if you do it out of the spell book, you automatically lose it out of the spell book. Does that make sense?
Out of the scroll, right?
Sorry, scroll.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna cast it off the scroll because I just got the scroll. That's kind of nice.
Lose it, baby.
Yep. So I'm gonna cast it off the scroll and see what that looks like.
Okay, you are still casting spells, so you'll be rolling plus int. Your int is a 2.
Yeah, and I already hit it. I rolled a 9.
Oh, good deal. Awesome. So make a choice from the cast a spell, reality twists around you, and you take a -1 penalty to cast a spell, or you draw unwanted attention. Actually,
I think go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just thinking, should a scroll just be that you lose this? No, I like a little bit of risk, and I like reality warp. So I'm gonna keep it. Sorry, I was gonna do a thing. Which option do you want to choose?
Yeah, so I marked off a use of the scrolls, and I'm going to draw unwanted attention. I think that makes sense because the trolls are now focused on, the tunnel.
Nice. You're rolling 2d4 damage to one of the targets that you can see. Roll 2d4. These guys are not as hardy as bigger monsters, so you may take one out.
5.
You do. But you just barely. They have exactly 5. So good work. So one goes down as he hits with the 2 bright green magic missiles, and you draw unwanted attention as one of them says, "Oh, wizard!" And he's going to jump down into the tunnel and bash you with his shield, because he knows that if he can keep you from paying attention by bashing you in the head, then you will not be able to cast more spells. Please roll a d2 or a d4. Sorry, please roll a d4. This is the damage he's doing to you.
1.
Awesome. Your robes, you cover a little bit, and as you do, I think you see lightning like climbing up this orc's leg. So
I'm like, no.
Sunburn. There are 4 orcs and a grandstanding Ajax. What are you doing?
So what I was going to do was I was going to try to bait one of these orcs down here, but luckily one of them has done the job for me. So what I see in my head is like Sunburn, after all of that ripping and tearing that Ajax did, like she's just covered in asbestos. And she's just like, she's getting like kind of angry. So she's going to cast Holy Weapon on her shield, and it's going to start to glow, right? And then
Nice.
she's going to charge the orc and try to save Mayday.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm into this.
Yeah.
Holy Weapon. You also cast a spell.
Yeah.
So
The
let's
weapon you
have
hold is magic until you drop it. Gain advantage on damage rolls and disadvantage to casting a spell. Let's see here.
So you're going to roll plus wisdom.
Okay. Oh, I see it there. All right. 7. Jesus.
Squeak by.
Right.
On a 7 to 9, you cast it, but pick one. Your divine power weakens. You take a -1 penalty to cast a spell. You lose the spell after it's cast. If you have favor, you lose it. You don't have favor. You draw unwanted attention or put yourself in a spot.
I actually do have favor.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I
forgot.
yeah,
I could
you could lose favor.
Yeah, I could lose favor. Well, yeah, it's not. I lose favor because it's not like an honorable thing, right? Like I don't announce myself and try to square off against him or her.
I think what we see high above is the sun. Like it's the morning and it's snowy, but the sun was shining through. And when you cast this, not like sneakily, there's a few clouds that come and cover over the sun a little bit, as if Apollo's face doesn't shine down on you quite as much and you lose favor. Is that cool? You like that?
Yeah. Also, since if they're Tolkienish orcs, that probably makes them better because they're not in the sunlight anymore.
Yeah, the one guy has his sunglasses on and he's like, he's wearing Ray-Bans.
They're called orkies.
Oh, it's great. I love that. Sweet. Oh man, my pen is running out of ink. Dang.
And lizardmen wear Crocs.
But how do you get down?
Can I cast a spell and attack, or?
That's a great question. I think we will look in the player's guide for just a moment. Triggering moves. Fiction. Nope. Hold and spin. Nope. All right. How would you guys normally do this in Dungeon World? You cast a spell, and then you've got to take another. Like other people get a turn for an action. That's generally how I've done it, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
In this case, so for me, what I would say, I would look at it in the circumstance. If you were in the middle of a fight, you can't cast a spell and attack. right? But in this case, you were just in the tunnel and we just started. So it makes sense that you could have cast this spell to get your shield ready
Mhm.
as the guy jumped down and attacked me, and it
Yeah.
would be okay if you attacked.
So maybe in a way you did it at the last of the first round, and now you're the first person attacking in the new round.
Yeah.
So that we're marrying both. Cool. Take your attack
Yeah.
if you want to hit.
It's a bonus action spell, so
All right, let's do it.
no 5e, right? All right, violence.
I was like, I don't know what those words mean.
Right.
I literally don't know what those words mean. I think you're going to hack and slash, which is in the violence and recovery moves. You will be rolling plus strength, and Sunburn's strength is a flat action, but you've got, with the holy weapon, it's advantage on damage rolls. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So 2d6 plus 0.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about the fiction of it all.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, so yeah, so I'm like with Apollo's might or something like that, right?
Ooh.
With Apollo's might, I deal the light or something like that. Okay.
Make sure you order
Couplets.
chicken tonight.
Winner, chicken dinner. All right.
All right, let's see how it goes.
An 8.
All
Okay.
right. So on hack and slash with an 8, your maneuver works as expected. Deal damage and get to roll with advantage. He will be attacking you back, but that's a-okay. Maybe you kill
And I
him in
suffer
one
the
shot.
and
Yeah,
I
you're
suffer
rolling
the
advantage on damage, and you just roll your damage rating, which should be your damage die is a d6.
That's my damage die, not my hit die.
Correct.
Okay, let me-
But you're rolling 2d6 and picking the better of the two.
Okay.
Because of holy weapon.
I'll take the 5.
Okay. That is exactly what you need. What does this look like as you take out this orc wearing orkies?
I pick up the orkies and I'm like, looks like he couldn't handle the light. And I put the orkies on for a second. Yeah.
Oh, dude, give me a grandstanding roll. That is amazing. Once per room, putting on the orkies after bringing an orc. That's just great. That's great. I'm a fan of that.
Yes, I'm Miami. Alrighty. Grandstanding is a.
Yeah, you get to choose. Is it intelligence, wisdom, or charisma that you're rolling?
Oh, right. Well, that would definitely be. It's like charisma, but
I think so.
That it's
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, plus
All
one.
right.
I think it's
Plus.
charisma.
Don't you get another one for the crowd?
Oh,
where it-
Oh yeah.
Has the crowd
If-
wait?
If the crowd goes up a level, I think.
Yeah, they're
Right now
currently
they're
neutral.
still neutral.
They're still neutral. You got to get a few more ticks, and keep that in mind when I ask for feedback at the end of the session about how that felt. So,
So +1 then.
Yep.
A 9.
a 9er on grandstanding is you sway the crowd but offend the
Ooh.
DJ. Oh my. Seymour Blood is bothered by you mocking one of his orcs. Man, he liked those. He actually bought those orkies for them.
Don't mock the sponsors.
All right, so go ahead and mark the crowd clock 1 tick. You guys are closer to entertaining the crowd. Let's see. I think it's Ajax's turn.
Yeah.
So a couple of orc are like waiting. There. Come on up here, big guy. Come on.
Yeah. And I think I'm Oh, they already got 2 on me. Damn. All right. And I think it's time to axe them.
So this is your drive, right? That's for a
Yeah.
fight you aren't sure you can win.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure we're gonna win this one.
Okay. I
Ajax
don't
is
know.
confident.
I'm not sure what these drives do, so I was just reading them. So.
Oh no, it's a great point. The drives are narrative modifiers for XP. That's really what they're there for.
Yeah, I think he just jumps off the rubble he broke out of and brings an axe down, like straight down on one of the orcs' heads.
That appears to be a hack and also a slash. Please roll.
Yeah, I will do both
Plus
of those.
stir. And you're using your axe, which you have a specialty in.
Yeah, so there'll be plus
One extra damage.
Extra damage, so
And messy.
plus 2 damage, and it's gonna get gross. So it'll be D10 plus 12 if I hit. We'll see.
If you hit, let's see how
Yeah.
that goes.
Nope. A 5.
Dang, that is rough. Okay.
Unless someone wants to help.
Oh, I never got attacked back. Oh, I took him out, so he couldn't attack me back. Is
Right.
that why?
Attack you
Okay.
back. I mean, I could
Oh.
have had him attack back, but I really liked your cool sunglasses move, so we just rolled with that.
I think I would like to spend the mojo for advantage.
Okay. I think that's a fine idea.
Throw another die in there.
It's a good time for the mojo. So, when you do this, you get to roll extra dice on a 1-to-1
All right.
basis. How many mojo points do you want to spend?
I think just 1 should be good. Anything
Okay.
over,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll see.
we'll see.
Good luck.
So I'll take the mojo down to 2. And that takes me up to a 6.
Yeah. That's still not a 7.
Nope.
So still a fail. Pausing. We good to let this go? Because they're going to do
Yeah.
some damage to you.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah, I
wait,
think
wait.
so.
We can help, right? We can do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So in that case,
Yeah.
let me see if I can take my move as if it's successful, I'll narrate how I help. So what I'm going to do is whenever Sunburn dropped the guy down in the tunnel, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to cast Mimic and mimic the guy, the orc, right?
Ooh, neat.
Mm.
So let's see what that looks like. If I can pull that off, my idea is I'm going to pop out of the tunnel and help, Ajax by pretending to help the other orc, and they think they have advantage and they don't. So let me see if my spell goes off. So I got an 8.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to take draw unwanted attention, because my idea is I'm going to pop up out of the tunnel. So they expect their buddy to come back up out of the tunnel, right? I'm going to pop up out of the tunnel and act like I'm going to flank Ajax, but instead, I'm going to help Ajax against this orc. Let me roll. What do I roll for helping?
It's like a defy danger, so you define what stat you're using. It seems
Okay.
like you're being pretty clever here and outwitting
Okay.
someone. So I could see this as an int roll. For
Okay, so
assist
let me roll that and see if I succeed in helping. I did not succeed in helping. I got a 5. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I think it's just meant to be. But I drew unwanted
Yeah.
attention, so that means that narratively, I made it obvious to the other orc that I'm helping Ajax and not him. Yeah.
Yep.
And don't forget your XP.
Oh yeah. Don't forget XP on a miss. You guys are going to level up easy.
I think what it looks like for Ajax, like I think he, like, in his mind, he's standing atop a pile of rubble, when actually he is in the rubble. Like goes to jump down on someone and like trips and falls flat over. Just
I think what
situational
happens
awareness, not great.
at this point, we're just going to deal some damage to you. And they do D6. They are pretty tough. So go ahead and roll a D6 and don't forget to take off your armor.
Take the 2 out of that there.
Before applying damage.
No damage.
Jeez. Oh wow. Okay,
They
cool.
just
Yeah,
bang on my armor.
They're banging on you a bunch. You don't look amazing, but you are really tough.
Guys, stop.
Uh,
God.
so
Cool. Come on.
Mayday, you were mimicking as if you were one of the orcs, and the orc who had like he jumped down to attack you, right? If I remember correctly, you magic missile
Yeah,
the guy. And there was another one that
so
came
I
down
popped
in.
up magic missile the guy. An orc jumped down to attack me and did.
Got hit by
And
sunburn.
Sunburn took him out, but I mimicked him and popped back up and went to protect Ajax, but made it obvious I was trying to help Ajax, not
Awesome.
the other orcs. Yeah.
Unfortunately, lightning is fooled by your mimicry more than the orcs. And as you begin this round as a mimic and an orc, you feel a bite at your Achilles heel as lightning has just bit hard into you, and that will be 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think your
if you
ropes
don't mind,
go all the way down. If that's cool.
yeah, I think Ajax actually knows, where to bite. Yeah.
Awesome. Lightning knows right where to bite you and got you right in your Achilles heel. So what do you wish to do as Lightning is going to hold on? Like a snapping turtle, but ferret version. You also probably need to deal with the orcs. There are currently 3 orc.
Yeah. I can't do any wizard moves until I dismiss this spell. And I think that I see the one orc start towards me. And I'm gonna duck behind Ajax, as I should. And I'm gonna do magic missile again and see if I can pop that orc that's coming towards me.
Like speed talking. No, the dragon thought about it. Awesome. 2d6 plus int.
Yes. And that's a 10.
Nice. That is the best roll with casting a spell yet. So with 10, the thing happens. So perfect. Nothing to worry about. Roll your 2d4 damage and hopefully you roll well. 8, 2 4s. Holy cats! That guy gets 2 as they zap into him, and he shudders once and falls.
No, I think Ajax was actually on the ground, and I think I ducked behind using Ajax as cover, because he's big, and I'm like zap zap, and then duck back. Yeah.
Cool. There are just 2 orc left, and I am curious, what is it the sunburn is doing? You've taken down the people that are down here with you. There are just 2 orc. Right now, they're standing shoulder to shoulder.
So I looked up Apollo on the Google, and it says that Apollo was also a god of archery. And I have the sacred texts, which allow me to cast a spell that's not prepared. So I was thinking about casting some sort of like divine arrow, so bow and arrow thing, but basically just using it to do the volley maneuver.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
But I think I lose my holy shield when I do that.
That seems fair.
I don't think you'd lose it. I think you just cast at disadvantage, I think is what it says.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's disadvantage to cast a spell. Yeah, so you can keep the holy weapon, but if you cast the spell, you'll be rolling 3d6 to cast the spell and keeping the worst of the 2.
Or you could just dismiss it and cast it normally.
So what I'll do is I'll crawl up. I'll use up the holy weapon energy to burn off the asbestos and make it look clean again. And then try I guess I'll do from the D&D cartoon, right? Like the energy arrow.
Love. Hank.
Okay.
We have a Hank here.
So because I have the texts, so I guess what do they look like? Oh, like a football player. So I'll open up the bracer patch,
Mm.
and it shows me the move that the football team would do, right? And so that lets me cast the spell. So I open up the bracer patch, and then I draw back to fire the arrow. Do you mean to cast the spell, volley, or both?
We'll just call it a volley. Magic is what's fueling it. We'll do this as a volley.
It's like old school hack, which I really like. So volley. Okay. So violence, maneuver, volley, roll with dex. Okay. Oof.
Ooh.
Oof.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay, on a miss, I just take a move and
Okay.
yeah,
Maybe
that's
I guess I hit I hit Thomas. I don't know.
Did you roll a 1?
You could also
That's
spill.
amazing.
You could also spend a mojo if you wanted.
Mm.
you
Okay.
could, but chances are good that that's still going to be a
So-
miss.
I'd have to get
Yeah.
a 6.
Yeah.
How many mojo do we have?
Currently have
We've got
2.
2.
I don't think you could because you have Dex is -1, and that would be a
Dex is
7
plus
-1.
Wow.
+1. Dex is +1. Oh, is it -1?
Yeah.
Yeah, your dex is a minus.
Oh, womp womp.
Yeah, you actually
okay.
rolled a modified 1. I think you just got
Yeah.
hit on
Yeah,
this.
I got confused.
You can spend 2 mojo and get both.
Right.
Oh
Basically,
my goodness.
get the entire rollover.
Yeah.
But that would take all of our mojo to do that. Man, I really liked the idea though. All right.
It was a cool
Uh,
idea.
It's a good idea.
All right, I'll mark experience.
All right, mark XP as you fire the arrow. It blazes like the sun, like a sunbeam, bounces off one of the plexiglass windows, and unfortunately you missed the orc. The orc saw this. He like dodges across. Maybe he saw you cheating by looking at, not cheating, but using your brazier to get the idea. You're not sure.
Right.
But then he comes in, brings his sword down, and he is going to be rolling damage with advantage. Please roll 2d6 and keep the better of the 2.
Okay. I'm on a VPN, so I have to re-log in every time I roll.
Oh, that sucks. Do you want me to roll the damage real quick? Save you time?
No, I got it.
Okay.
A 6.
Ooh, 6 damage is painful. Painful.
5
You do have
shield.
armor, so it's 5.
Right. So
Sweet. So
Yeah.
we now have. You never moved out. Did you move out of the tunnel, or were you firing
Yeah,
from the tunnel?
I crawled out of the tunnel. I burned
Okay,
off
good.
the asbestos, and I fired the arrow.
That's right. Sorry. I forgot that.
And we have 2 orcs left. Is that right?
You have 2 orcs
Mhm.
left. So let's see. I think Mayday, you'd just gone because you were pretending to be an orc. So I think it's up to Ajax. As you see, one is engaging Sunburn, and the other is facing off with you.
And I think I'm Mayday leans over and tells Ajax, "Don't worry, I got your back." As I kind of help you stand up. Yeah.
Excellent. I think I don't actually stand up. Just that one's right there. I think I just roll over and bring my axe up.
Nice. That's wicked. Hack
Give
and
me the old number
slash.
10. Yeah.
The old number 10. Let's see how this goes. Good luck.
Let's see.
And if you'd like, I can assist you with the encouragement and all of that. Why don't you roll
Yeah.
first and see if you need it?
Let's see how it goes. Boop. That is a 7. Sounds
All
right.
You guys are going to swap harm. He is going to be stabbing you for a d6, and you're going to be stabbing him for a lot worse than that.
Yeah,
Things don't look good for this orc.
I accept that. So that's D10 plus 2, right?
D10 plus
I did
2
that
for
right.
you.
Yeah,
and
all
it's
right.
messy.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be messy. That's straight up 10.
You split him in half. Like, does the number 10 literally split this orc in half?
I think so, yeah. Like from the
Yeah.
bottom up.
That is
Bowel to jowl.
terrifying. I'm going to let you go ahead and click a crowd clock because that is going to be
Ooh.
on the highlight reel.
Nice.
That evisceration. I think on the scoreboard thing, we actually see one of the like pre-programmed graphics. Evisceration. The slow-mo replay from the orc from like 4 different things, and they do like a bullet time thing of him being split in half.
And it's not just like a clean fall apart. It's like, and then like almost explodes out. It's messy.
Yeah, and the last orc at that point, he like tosses his sword down and steps back, and then he's going to try to run through the non-com door. So Sunburn, with your magical bow and arrow, you could pop a shot. I'd let you roll with advantage if you want to be vicious.
Oh, not to be teacher's pet, but did he do damage to me?
Yes, he did. I'm sorry. Please roll a d6.
Yeah.
Teacher's pet. You mean like playing the game correctly?
Kai, you forgot to give us homework.
Hey, Kai. Sunburn has a shot at the retreating orc if you want to take it. Or you can let him go. What would your ex-boyfriend do? We need to name this ex-boyfriend, by the way.
Right. So here's the thing. On that sending stone earlier, my boyfriend said, don't let one of them get away. There's a trap that they'll trigger. Now, do I use that knowledge? Or do I give the mercy that Apollo normally gives, right? Some of this hard spot.
Nice. I like that.
And because later on I want there to be questions about whether or not I'm a cheater or not, I'm going to act on that knowledge and try to hit the guy. So
cool. You get to roll with advantage. So roll 3d6 -1 for your dexterity.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do the shield this time.
Oh, you're gonna bash him with a shield?
No, I'm gonna Wonder Woman the shield again.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. -6 -1 won't really matter. Okay, so 6 and a 2 is an 8, -1 is a 7.
Oh,
So
that's
I
what you
hit.
needed. Do your damage.
Okay. I never got to use the damage from the holy weapon. Oh well. Okay, so I roll a d6.
Aren't you using the shield now?
Yeah,
I am, but I shed the spell so that I could do the thing.
Okay.
I did 4 damage.
4 damage. Yeah, that's not quite enough to kill him. He like staggers a little bit. He's staggering for the non-com door. Mayday.
Right.
Ajax, you guys want to do anything? It seems like Sunburn wants to make sure this guy doesn't escape.
What were our rules, to win the room? Did we have to defeat the orcs?
Rescue the cheerleaders.
Okay.
Save the cheerleaders, save the world.
Basically.
No, I'm gonna go with teamwork. And I'm gonna magic missile the guy, or at least try to.
With your scroll?
I think I'm gonna cast it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I got a 9.
Okay. You've got a choice to make on cast a spell.
Yeah. I don't think drawing one at attention is viable here.
It's fair.
So it would either be I think I'll take the reality twists around me, so I'll take a -1 penalty on the next time.
Neat. And there's a drop down to the right of the cast a spell, so you can track that penalty, which I think is really smart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
And then I roll damage, right?
Yes, 2d4. Actually, whatever you roll is going to get him, so you just have 1 hit point.
Right.
But what is that? Those last 2 magic missiles slamming into the back of the orc as he starts to open the no-go door. What's that look like?
Yeah. So what it looks like is he, gets hit from behind, drops. The door's kind of partially ajar, but that's whenever I turn to the crowd and I say, you really have to, learn and be sure to go to the university here in order to, be able to be as powerful as I am. If you noticed, I took out 3 of these, right? So magic trumps, power all the time. And I think I'm doing the cheap shot, right?
I think you are a cheap heat. That's
The
awesome.
scroll,
So that
the scroll is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
Sweet. Go ahead and tick that crowd clock 1, which means your crowd attitude will raise from neutral to entertained.
Are you not entertained?
I think your professor holds up like a 6. Oh, do improve the crowd attitude. Do that drop down from neutral to entertain on row 5 of the Xcrawl team. Cool. Now, whenever you guys are doing things, swaying the crowd, anything along those lines, you get a +1 to that roll. Sweet. You have completed this. So, Ajax, these are your cheerleaders, right? I think you've got history with one of them. Is it good history, bad history?
I think it's bad history because one of them was very much into me, but I'm like focused on the game.
Focused on the game. Cool.
I think they have a grudge against me.
Sweet. You can pick from any of these 3. We've got a female dwarf, a half elf, half orc. Actually, you could. I mean, if you want to pick this gnome too, he could be a cheerleader of yours.
No, that's my boyfriend.
Oh, that's your ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, of course it is.
Awesome.
Let's go with the half orc.
Cool. She's into Ajax. He's into the game. All right. Do you want to assign a name to this cheerleader?
Yeah, this is Chelsea.
Sweet. Gil Crazy. That's great. That's great. Mayday, there's a cheerleader that you get tongue-tied around for some reason. Are you cool if it's the half elf, or do you want to grab another picture?
No, I think the half elf is fine.
Awesome.
And I think that I go over to the door for the half elf and I start working on the lock to try and open it. And it's a real simple kind of lock, but because I'm so nervous, I kind of fumble it. And, I think the crowd starts to get a little impatient. I think they start to get a little impatient. And finally I get her out. I'm like, you can leave now.
Nice. And by the time you finished and you open the door, she's like, lightning is on her shoulder and she's just petting him. Said, "Oh, thanks." And then our 3rd cheerleader comes out, and that will be the female dwarf because that's fun. She will pop a little cigarello in her mouth and light it. I think you guys can get out. She points to door D, or the cage D, which, as you head over, is unlocked. Cool. So all right, in door D. So we head over to our thing, and I'll reshare. Bloop, bloop. All right. The 4th cell is unlocked and empty, except for a life-size poster on the wall of the famous Xcrawl star known only as Oni. And we have a picture of her because I think it's an awesome pic. Oni. And concealed behind the poster is a small door that leads to a hallway. The door is neither locked nor trapped. Lucky for you, since you don't have a thief to tell you that. And then you open the door. So, the walls of this corridor are thick plexiglass. You see the crowd watching you from the bleachers. As you turn around the corner, you see a 10-foot deep, 20-foot long pit. Inside, there are several scampering creatures, each about the size of a very small horse. They have long antennae and a tough-looking hide. They skitter about, trying to leap out of the pit to get to you. The pit takes up the entire corridor for the 20-foot long period. So there is no ledge. And then there's a door at the end, which is where you need to go to defeat the room. You have defeated this room. Did someone add a mojo? Because you would have gotten a mojo from defeating the second room. So I bump up that mojo, I think, from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So how do you want to deal with the pit? And does anyone want to ascertain what the creatures are?
Yeah, so I think that would be spout lore, is that right?
It is.
Yeah. So I'll do that. So I peer over the edge. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. That's a 13.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. On a 10 plus, the DJ will tell you something interesting and useful and relevant about the subject. Those are rust monsters. Rust monsters will destroy any of your metal equipment.
We get a mojo for rolling a 13. Right?
Yes. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Good memory. Yeah, so you've got to cross a 20-foot long pit with rust monsters. You've also gained the DJ's attention, if as a reminder from a previously failed move. So what do you wish to do? What's the plan here?
And I think so. Mayday kind of sits down and is trying to think about it. So I'm trying to think my way out while everyone else does their stuff.
I think Ajax like sees the there's critters down there and like is ready to dive in, and then when like it hits him that like not cowering, but that's the vibe of like, I'm gonna step back and let someone else take care of this for a minute while I polish my shit over here.
So I think, so of course I say, oh, you know, those will eat metal. You know, stay away from them. That could be really bad. And I think that, how about I'm gonna mark off an undefined and say I've got a rope with a grappling hook.
That's
And
awesome.
I search
got it.
around like in that pack, and I'm gonna try. I think I try and hook it up, and I can't get it, so I pull it back in, and that grappling hook comes down, and I think the rust monsters, you know, look super interested in it. And then I think I'm gonna hand it to someone else to try and toss up because I'm no good at that.
Yeah. Who wants to make a defy danger with Dex?
I can do
That
that.
sucks, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Ajax warily approaches the edge. And, like, I've seen people swing a thing around before, so I'm gonna, it's just like a flail, right? Just swing it around and let it go.
Oh,
2d6
even better.
plus 1.
If you don't mind, I'm going to narrate that a little bit different. I don't
Yeah,
pull
go
out
for
a
it.
rope. I pull out the waistband of my robe, right? So it's that little string that holds together the robe that we're using. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
So that's 2d6 plus 1. Another 5. I would definitely like to use some mojo for this.
Yeah, that
should.
is probably a good idea.
Yeah, so I think that looks like throw it across and it clanks against the other side, and the rust monsters like skitter over to it, like pull it back before they get to it. Add another die there. Try one more time. That's a 2. That's a 3 plus 2 plus 1 is a 6.
It's still a fail. And actually, I think you kept your +1 because it looks like the die total was a 1.
Oh, damn, yeah.
So still a 5.
Still bad. Still bad.
Still bad.
Should I burn another mojo, or does someone else have a better idea?
Crowd is starting
I
to get
think-
restless at this point. Come
Yeah,
on!
let me see if I'm going to try to assist you, and I'm going to try and assist you. You're just throwing it across,
Yeah, I'm just like trying.
and
Like,
I'm like,
I think it's gonna like stick in the
In the door.
side of the
Yeah.
like I'm just throwing it at the side of the wall of the pit.
and I'm like, I'm looking around, and I look up, and I'm like, no, you need to toss it up there. So I'm trying to help you find a better
Oh.
place to hook it, and let's see if I can succeed at that. So I think that's
3d6 plus
intelligence
int?
looking.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a 7.
Okay. So with a 7, that means your
I
assist
suck up the
play.
consequences.
Yeah, you're gonna suck up some consequences.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right. Let's add one more die. So this will be a 3 plus whatever this is.
Good luck.
3 plus 3 plus 1 is a 7. Just barely.
Wow. That was so
Man.
Toss it up. It finally finds purchase. You
Oh, up there.
swing across. And yeah, because you succeed there. Oh yes, I like this. So I think
This
Mayday
is a
goes
defy
last.
danger, is that right?
Yes, defy
Yeah.
danger.
So I have an idea. If you want to, Rich, what did you have in mind?
Well, I was thinking that the sucking up the consequences is that Ajax swings across, Sunburn Field swings across, and the beam that you guys used is starting to creak, and then it collapses as Mayday starts to swing across, and you fall into the pit. Does that seem?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
What was your thought?
My thought was I swing across, and lightning falls into the pit, and the rest of the monsters eat some of his armor. But he scrambles out, and the crowd is like panicked. Yeah.
Oh,
But
I like that
I
better.
think I think the same thing happens. I think I'm down in the pit with lightning, right? So now I've got to scramble out.
Yeah. So lightning is getting his armor eaten, and the rust monsters, they don't seem to be physically attacking you, Mayday. They're going after anything metal that you have. Let's take a look at your gear. It doesn't look like you have any. The grappling hook is definitely being eaten because it fell down with you. So
I think I take my waistband and I frantically start throwing it up to see if someone will catch it and help pull me up. And I think one of the consequences here is I can't use my last undefined tick as anything that's metal.
Oh, nice. I think that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'll
Cool.
I'll tick that I have a staff. And like I know you're throwing your belt up, but actually I'll do a spear instead, and then you throw the belt around the head of the spear, and it's going to cut into it, so we got like one chance to pull you out, I think, this way.
Okay. Yeah.
Stressful.
So
Stressful. I love it.
I'll defy danger with, I'm going to say Constitution. Right? Like, this is not a matter of like, can I pick you up or not? You're kind of a thin little creature. But do I have the stamina to the leverage on the cantilever? Or, I don't know. So I roll.
And I'll do an assist move with that. Oh, well, let's see what you do first, and then we'll see if I can assist.
Well, why don't you describe what you're doing, and then we'll see if we need to actually get dice for it.
I'm scrambling desperately trying to get up.
Yeah,
And I think I reach down and I toss lightning up over the edge so lightning can get out. But I think the little shield that's on lightning's back is like half gone.
Got an 8. Yeah. Got a roll a 5 and a 2. I added 1.
Nice.
For Constitution. So that's defy danger, which is the DJ will present a lesser success, a cost, or a consequence.
Yeah, I think the consequence I introduce is that you end up having to, like, the staff and everything, you end up having to lean over, and one of the long tentacles of the rust monster this tried to hitch a ride onto Mayday touches one of your items. That is the consequence I introduce. So
Okay.
let's see what you've got. I'm not going after the shield. It's magical and really cool. And also has
Well,
the
what I
chicken
was
on it.
what I was thinking about doing earlier was actually kind of a grandstanding move. So maybe I'll throw this into the narration. Basically, because I've always wanted to use the word doff. I'm gonna so I have a drop down for pick light armor. I will use my 5th earmark for a chain shirt. And basically like show, like, you know, throw off my cloak and like take off the entire chain shirt and be like, Apollo guides me. I need not such paltry defenses, and I throw it down there, and like they're scrambling all over it, and then I lift Mayday out. If that's cool.
Awesome. I love that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's the distraction we
Amazing.
needed. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's great. And I think the clouds part and Apollo's sun rays come down and a bit of grandstanding. If do you want to roll grandstanding and see?
Sure.
And if you're successful, you can regain that favor.
Okay.
So I stuck Bradley Liebrock is now officially canonized as a bugbear because that picture's cool. So thank you for that.
Yeah, D20's Urban Arcana is one of the games I've always wanted to play, but you know,
Same.
Yeah. So while the light's shining down on me, I go into one of my pouches and I pull out some brand of suntan lotion, some SPF or whatever, right? And I'm just wiping the sweat away and rubbing in the anyway.
Nice.
Trying to get some more advertisement money.
Oh, it's so good. I think there's a moment with you wiping all this. Gareth is just watching. Oh, man.
That's what you lost, Gareth.
I had that.
You had that. What? Can you show me the rule for it? What am I rolling?
Oh, grandstanding is like a defy danger, so you can define what you're rolling.
Wisdom, obviously. Like,
yeah,
this is knowing exactly what you know.
Yeah.
And then you add an additional one for the crowd attitude.
Right. So you're rolling plus 3.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder, Stephen.
My gratitude. Industries. I still can't hit a 12.
Not quite, but still.
I got an 11.
Very successful. Awesome. So you are able to pull Mayday up, and you guys finish this room. There, unfortunately, is no treasure for getting over the pit trap. And we're looking at time. I'll just reveal this room. You will go ahead and tick up your mojo by 1, please, because you did successfully complete that room. And now you are looking at a 30 by 30 foot room, which is empty, except for a thick layer of sand on the floor. There's a door heading out through the north wall, a no-go to the west. Through the plexiglass walls, you see the crowd. They seem to be a little unsure of what's going on. Several of them cheer as you enter. And that is where we will stop this Xcrawl run for this session. We will pick back up with you guys immediately heading towards or entering room 6 and dealing with that.
Let me interrupt for just a second. So,
Yes.
Kai, you did a grandstanding. Is that right?
Right. We didn't have you roll.
Okay. And you got an 11, so you sway the crowd and you carry advantage on the next roll. So write down when we start, you'll get advantage.
Thank you for that.
I totally forgot about the advantage that we had.
And somebody needs to take the crowd clock by 1.
Where
I'll do
should I
that.
put that?
I
Right
would
here.
probably, Yeah, I'd probably put it somewhere near your stats or something, just because
Uh,
that's what you're going to
yeah.
look at when you're going to roll.
I'm always looking at that, right? Yeah, if there's like a little box that said,
There's notes down here on row 55.
perfect. Thank you.
We can just highlight that in yellow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen, for reminding us that.
Yeah,
And
sorry to
somebody
interrupt.
check. Yeah, somebody did the. No, you weren't interrupting. You're helping us continue to playtest. Good stuff. Cool. Let's end our session with a little bit of feedback. We do stars and wishes. We are right at time, so if anyone needs to go, that's totally fine. We can handle via Slack or email or whatever. Oh yay, my pen now writes again. Awesome. We'll start with wishes, so we can end with stars. Any wishes on confusion points or clunkiness via the Xcrawl World hack is welcome. Reminder, friends, I am the son of a Marine Corps sergeant who became a high school principal. I can handle all the critical feedback you care to give. It's okay. I'm not defensive. I'd like to go first with wishes. Also, wishes can be, these are things I'd like to see in the next 2 sessions kind of deal.
I think the main thing is just for me is the common with a lot of PBT games is the keeping track of like, oh, when do I have, what am I carrying forward, with it, like keeping track of the modifiers as you go forward. And character keeper obviously helps a lot with that. Just keeping, I missed the advantage on my first grandstanding roll too.
Oh, right.
But yeah, that's way past good. That's good. But yeah, just keeping track of all the little bits and pieces, a little bit of bookkeeping. But yeah, other than that, that's just a common thing that happens with all of them.
No, that's a good point. And I think that, some character keeper design for tracking that, like what we just worked through with Kai, could be beneficial to us. So I throw away that pen, which died again. Cool. Any other wishes?
I think we should finish out the playtest, but I was thinking that when you roll 12 or higher, you could do mojo or try to sway the crowd, because it was such a glorious thing, right? But I mean, there's a system.
That's a really good.
I'm always hacking for no reason. But the
That's
reason
not
it came
no
to mind,
reason. I think that's neat because it gives you some options.
the reason I brought it up is because when Ajax did hit a 12 or something recently during the game, you're like, well, I think the crowd, when you split the orc in half, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're like, he did a really good roll. Let's see what the crowd thinks of that. So, so that was just a thought on the system.
It's a good thought.
Yeah. I wish we were. I guess we haven't had a chance to go to a break room yet, so we haven't had a chance to talk to each other or anything like that. So
Yeah, and I'll just stipulate I have a wish that I didn't pause to let us do the character relationship questions, and that was
Oh,
a really huge mistake on my part. So we may
Yeah.
just kick off the next session with that.
Okay.
Although now I feel like should we do it in the break room? But I definitely want to make that happen. You are very close to a break room.
Yeah. Also, if we're going to do confidentials, if this is pre-recorded, they would pop up at the moment they're going to occur in. So maybe we could do the confidentials like what was it for?
Ooh.
Do you mean
Where-
confessional?
Confessionals thing. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
we're not COVID, but yes, what was it?
like doing a little flash forward,
Yeah, like the one that
like inspectors.
inspectors. Yeah, but the one that I remember very specifically was Jason Morningstar. His guy was sitting on the curb, he's drinking some water, he's like, we had no idea that the zombies were there to help us. But inspectors, you can also use it to give the other players like a trait.
Complication. Yep.
Mhm.
And they play it, then they get benefits. Yes, I think.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So I actually ran a campaign of, anyway, we'll talk off camera. So yeah, if we're going to include those things, we might want to do them in the moment when they apply, if they're like that. But I don't know if they're like that because we haven't done one yet. So
cool. Thank you, Kai. Steven, what about you? Any wishes?
I struggle a little bit to come up with wishes. The only thing I can say is I was noticing as I was looking through some of these moves, there's a lot of moves for Xcrawl. We have the base Dungeon World type moves, which are do violence and basic moves and optional moves. And then in addition, we have X-crawling moves, which is all having to do with the crowd, and then outside the crawl. And it seems like there's a lot of pages of moves, which I've seen with other Powered by the Apocalypse games, and it's easy to get lost in.
Like
That
Iron
said,
Sworn or something. Yeah.
That said, I think that we're doing a good job of engaging everything, like the X crawl moves. We haven't done anything outside the crawl, and we haven't done any of the optional moves. But otherwise, I think we're doing a good job kind of keeping track of everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe
It feels
those
like the
just don't
moves
come
are.
up.
Yeah.
It feels like they're like really situational. So it's not like there's a lot of like little random things to keep track of. Like, oh, I'm grandstanding now. Clearly that's a thing.
Yeah.
Appreciate that feedback, Steven. Yeah, organization. There's a lot of moves. I mean, because it's like Dungeon World plus a whole other game, plus some stuff added on to Dungeon World. So there's a lot going on. I was hoping that breaking it down into discrete tabs so that the situation meant, oh, okay, this container of moves will apply. But
And I think that's
still
worked pretty well for us.
Yeah, I agree.
cool. Just gut feel on first time through, 4 ticks to improve a crowd's attitude without the suggestion that Kai threw that I probably am going to use about 12 pluses, giving you you can either mojo or you can impress the crowd. Does it feel like enough? Too much?
Yeah, that feels like just right.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't know if we just got lucky with some of our rolls with the 12 pluses, or if that's common enough. It felt good. What happens once you go above +2?
You're back to 0.
No, it just stays at the
I was gonna
It's
say
so popular
guaranteed
that everyone
score.
hates you.
Well, no, like we go up. We get a. No, I'm sorry. I thought we would get like a.
You get an HX bumps with a out audience.
No, our sponsor. We get better sponsorship.
Yeah, that's what I was
Ooh.
thinking.
Yeah, your fame will grow. Right. When you're
Yeah.
in the but I thought the specific question, Stephen, was what happens after Fanatical. And
yeah.
in current rule set, nothing happens after Fanatical to sway the crowd. The crowd's attitude stays a Fanatical. You finish that crawl, and then you're going to get fame points for doing such an incredible run, which then leads to better sponsors.
Okay.
But there isn't
Does-
anything after Fanatical. We could
Does
create one. Sorry.
Fervor.
No. Does the attitude ever tick down? I don't think I've seen.
Yes, that is a DJ move
Mm,
where I can say that the crowd sours on you.
cool.
I actually had to come up with like DJ moves, and so I was like, yeah, that seems cool. Crowd sours.
In terms of
strategy
the 4
sours.
points per crowd, like the only other thing I could think of would be 3 for the first level, 4 for the second level, 5 for the second, the third level,
like,
or whatever.
like ladder step in. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna play through the rest of this crawl to see where we end at, but that's something that I'm gonna pyramid step. I want to keep that as a note.
So it's something. It seems like for us to change sponsors or get additional sponsors, seems like something that would be slow. It's only after each dungeon, and then we evaluate what things are. I would say I think it would be neat if you were able to get your crowd above +2 Fanatical, that there's like a buying frenzy from sponsors, and you could move your sponsor up a level in some way during
Oh my
the
goodness! So
event
you're like
where-
you're so famous that you're making your sponsor more famous.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But
Yeah, like a Hunger
then-
Games
then
drop.
then your crowd attitude would go back to 0 because you're getting more pay and more fame from all of that. Yeah.
The word fervor comes to mind. There's a fervor in the crowd.
Those are good notes. Thank you, guys. This is why I like playing with smart folks who know the games.
Or instead of fame, our merch could sell, and that would be pay.
Oh,
Right.
Fame or merch.
Right.
concession stands, yeah. Or merch tables.
That's
I guess.
good.
With Kung Fu, Oni doll, a Kung Fu grip.
Cool. Good stuff. Let's circle
it.
back around for a few stars. Oh, did you have something, Mark?
Nope, just thumbs
Okay.
up.
Steven, do you have any stars you want to share?
So it's interesting. I think you've converted this from an established module or something, but it was neat to see the map, and it was neat to kind of see where all we were going. That was pretty cool.
I'm glad you like the map.
I really liked
Yeah.
the scene, where I really like, Mark, that you stepped out and grandstanded rather than attacking the 5
Yeah.
orcs that were out there. You were like, no, I'm gonna.
So good.
And it's it seems like we're all able to lean into the campiness and all that kind of stuff about dealing with the crowd. I actually like, Kai, how you lost favor and then gained it back.
Mhm.
Right, you gained it back right there at the end with Apollo. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
At least that's the way my headcanon was. I thought that was great. Yeah, I like seeing that.
Yeah, it's to bounce off that a little bit. I like the way that you are describing the dungeon and the monsters inside it. Like, encourage that, because if it was a regular D&D dungeon or whatever, and there was a bunch of orcs standing around, they would immediately jump on us. Whereas this is like, their job is to provide entertainment for the crowd instead of to murder whoever comes in the room. So that gives space to like pop in and grandstand, because they're like in their like waiting mode kind of. So that's, I like your descriptions there. It's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Cool. Thank
I
you.
I really liked that Mayday was unconfident or whatever. But like, I was like, oh, perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Love that. Because then you had a character flavor the entire time. I liked that.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh, the lightning stuff was just genius. Like,
that's all
that
so
rivalry, so good.
And I love it. Mark was like, is it just a pretty sword? And you're like, yeah, it's just a pretty sword. I was like, all right, legit.
Yeah.
So, what's the stat bonus? There's no stat bonus. It's just a really pretty sword.
Awesome. Yeah.
And thank you for taking on my cheerleader thing. I really appreciated you incorporating that into the story.
That was fun. I really liked that idea. Cool.
Yeah, I like that it's like, and that is built into the premise, I guess. Like, I like that it is a cooperative, competitive game instead of the 3 of us trying to see who can get through best or whatever. Although there is a little bit of like friction. I like that, like, we are trying to beat the dungeon together instead of competing against each other to see who can get through it alive.
Yeah. I just don't like competitive games. There was an earlier iteration where I was thinking, well, should I give individual fame incentive awards to make people want to be more famey? And I kind of ultimately decided against it, to where there are some opportunities based off of some choices, but generally you guys are going through it as a team.
Yeah. I also wanted to say, Kai, thank you so much for leaning so much into the chicken and waffles sponsor.
Yes.
That's been great. I like having it on your shield and everything. It really brings it back, and I'm like, that's really great. So
yeah, that was brilliant.
I love that.
Really.
So what happened? What started was I was like, wonder what my. So I when I saw my shield and I saw holy weapon, I'm like, I definitely want to do that. Like, I didn't want to have like I wanted to be a shield character, and I was like, well, what does my shield look like? And I did a search. And like, I was like, oh, a sun shield on that little character. And I was like, I'm going to put a chicken and waffle on this character. And it just made sense. But I was going to type it in. I was like, I don't know what font to use. So then I did a search for like a logo. I figured locally it's called Dame's Chicken and Waffles or something like that. And then I just saw that perfect little chicken and waffle. And even in GIMP, when I copied and highlighted, copied and pasted, it was precisely. I didn't have to adjust the size of the chicken. I'm just like, this is fate. This is fate.
Meant to be.
This is the way.
Before I forget, I've already forgotten twice. I was curious what the difference between casting a spell and casting a scroll was, and I did a Google search, and in Dungeon World, the scroll just happens. There's no roll.
Oh.
Okay, maybe.
So I don't know if that's true here, but I wanted to just,
That's an instant trade-off, like automatic success, but you can only do it that one time. Yeah. or however many charges.
Yeah.
I think it speeds things up, and I may go with that. I think that's a really
And what I did is I just put all the charges back on that scroll, saying I was casting the spell all the time, and it made sense in front of my professor, right? That just makes sense, rather than using the cheat sheet. So yeah, but I would suggest whenever you give out a scroll like that, it not have 7 charges, maybe 2.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think that's an artifact of just pulling the treasure from the module, which was made for a D&D type thing. So 7 charges is, but yeah. Let's go with the Dungeon World methodology. I'll stick something in the rules that's a scroll just happens.
Ooh. That also opens up for like a non-spellcaster to grab a scroll, and like maybe they have to try to cast a spell like with disadvantage or something, but since they have something there to work off of.
It seemed like that was actually there with the rogue. Like
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the rogue does have, well, definitely in D&D, but I think even in this, let me check.
But I think you said at some point you either need a spellcaster to cast the scroll or a rogue. Yeah.
Right, but that was
nice.
also text from the D&D version of it.
Okay.
So we could easily flex that out to say, no, if you've got a scroll, everyone has a chance to. Which I never understood why a thief could do it, but
yeah.
I think they're just good at faking it.
Oh yeah, I know spells.
So I was thinking like anything that has charges in it, like a scroll or a rod or whatever they give us. I was thinking like it if you use the last charge, it goes away, right? But those are provided by the stadium, so they get upset if you destroy their item, right? And so you make this choice, like, do I use this item? Because they're gonna like take it out of my pay or something like that, right?
like the potions we have to get back at the end if we don't use them.
Right, exactly. And it's just like it's highly frowned upon for you to use that final charge, sir. That was what was occurring in my head.
That's nice.
It's got a counter in it, please don't use last ones. Yeah, that's funny. Cool. Any other stars? We're well over time. So
great time all around. I love the wrestling overlay on top of it.
Yeah.
Good.
No good.
Stephen? Did you have any?
I'm good.
Oh, I thought you said, so I thought, yeah. Cool. With that, I'll bring this recording to a close. Thank you all so much for participating.